Hello everyone and welcome to today's session. I am Raution Jaiswal, co-founder of InsuredMine, a software platform with CRM, sales and marketing automation, designed and developed only for insurance industry. For those of you just joining us, welcome. A recorded session of this webinar will be available on InsuredMine website. In the last week or so, you have been receiving a few communications from Nowcerts. I'm very thankful to them for all the communications going out from Jonathan. Sarah has been helping a lot, and Peter. That relationship is like old wine. It's getting better and better with age. So thank you, the whole Nowcerts team, for everything that you guys are doing. Not to forget to mention their technology team. We would not have been on this call today if that guys out there would not be doing things at that light speed that we work on. So thank you everyone for joining. So today we have a very specific things that I want to talk about, which is about what does this two-way integration means. But before we jump into it, let's give a quick few minutes about what is InsuredMine. Several of you may have heard about us, and with a presumption that several of you don't know anything about InsuredMine. So let's dive deeper into what InsuredMine does and what it is. So InsuredMine is a CRM's marketing automation for insurance agents only. So we do not engage in or serve any other industry or any other vertical. It is designed purely for P&C insurance agents. Yes, we do some extension to life and health, but it's primarily for P&C and especially for independent agents. We do not do any captive agencies at all. So that means it is designed for you who are on the call, because this helps you build your process as a plug and play. This is built all around you. So you don't have to sit and configure all day long of what needs to be done. Yes, there is a plug and play to get started, but then as you continue to make it more sophisticated use, obviously there is some adjustment you need to do, because how deep you want to go in. So that's a little bit about what InsuredMine does. It has 4 core areas of interest, which is sales, engagement, analytics, and mobility, as we call it SEAM, SEAM, which is sales, engagement, analytics, and mobility. The word comes pretty good together when we talk about the seamless integrations, or SEAM, which is stitching it together. So when we take a step back and think about why InsuredMine, I can also see some charts coming up here, guys. So yeah, feel free to plug in. All right, so we got an announcement here. We got Peter and Jonathan joining in. Thank you guys for dialing in. Let me make you all be able to speak. So let me do that for one quick second. Peter, let me search you here in the list, because I'm sure all of you would also love to hear some of the inputs and thoughts from Peter and Jonathan. So let me look out for you guys. Peter, have you logged in as Peter, I would presume, right? And Jonathan, I see a lot to talk. I see there are 3 versions of Jonathan. All right, Jonathan, can you hear me? Yeah, and Raul, yes, we are recording this session, so we will be happy to share the recording post webinar. So why, with everything using in your Nowcerts, which is a wonderful platform, don't have to say that again and again, you guys are winner using InsuredMine and Nowcerts together, but you were already a winner just by using Nowcerts, because of not only what they provide, but the roadmap and everything they're doing on a daily basis to enhance the platform. So, but where does it becomes the best of both worlds? Where does it matters to have this all together? Which is being able to include your CRM with your AMS. AMS is so focused on policy and everything around policy, but it's like your Swiss knife. You got a lot it can do, but it is not your chainsaw. You need your chainsaw to cut the trunk of the tree, and
when you are looking to sell, you need a sales tool, and that is your InsuredMine. So that's where the core is in terms of what you need to do in your sales engagement, analytics, and mobility. All right, so just to give you a quick peek in when you're talking about sales, how it matters to have it all together. You are looking at your sales screens of moving your sales funnel, and we'll go into the live demo in a second, but just wanted to give a peek in of what it looks like. What is an engagement? Engagement is basically, in other words, you can say marketing, but marketing limits what it can do. Engagement is a broader concept, which is about engaging rather than just pushing a concept. It is about making sure you're well aware or connected, whether it's about building automations, whether it's about holiday campaigns, whether it's about sending them bulk text messages, or just segmenting your clients. So all that is needed to be able to do what you need to do. And then analytics, as we all know today, nobody is able to manage their business well. And I say this with a lot of responsibility, that nobody is able to manage their business well if they do not have a pulse on data. So if you cannot measure it, you cannot manage it. And both organizations, Nowcerts and InsuredMine, we have invested significantly in empowering you guys to be able to understand the numbers in a much more robust way than has been in the past, and that you would learn. For example, when you're looking at, when we ask, what % of your client do not have email address? I don't want you to scratch your head and think, okay, I don't know that. It should be on your fingertip. Like for example, over here, we are showing 4% is missing email or 5% is missing phone numbers. Click on that and go right after them and get those data, because you will have to reach out to them at some point of time. And last one is about mobile app, be able to build the last mile connected with your clients, which is, it will show them what their coverage is, what vehicles is included in that, and then look at the policy wallet of home insurance, auto insurance, what it includes, go into the depth of, what that policy would have, who they can contact, all the coverage and all the policies which is expiring, all the documents associated with it is coming all the way from your AMS to InsuredMine and going all the way to the mobile app. So let's take a step back and think about what is integration. And I'm sure all of you have a lot of understanding today what integration does. But let me give you these 3 keywords, which is add, delete, and update. Integration just not mean to pull the data. It also means it can update the data, and it can also delete the data, and it is happening on both ends. One of these actions are taken in one system. Is it letting it happen on the other system, real time or whatever it may be? But all these 3 things needs to happen when you're looking at a full-blown integration. And it may not happen for everything, and that's why in my next slide, I'm going to explain what does that mean. But let me remind you one keyword here. All integrations are not equal. So a lot of buzz you can hear, we are integrated, but ask 3 or 4 core questions. What data points do you sync with? And ask those questions to our sales guys. Ask me that question. What data point are we syncing? Because integration is a broad term. It's a very broad concept. Then ask, what do you all do when you say, okay, I'm integrated? What are you doing? Are you just pulling the data? Are you just pushing the data? Are you updating the data? Can you delete here and will it delete in the other system? Vice versa. What does it do? Ask that question. Third one is about when does that happen? Is it based on, don't have to get very technical about it, that, is it based on REST API or is it based on a webhook, or, it can go very fancy. Just keep it simple. Hey, when does that change will be impacted? Is it happening in a batch overnight? Is it happening at the same time? Or what is it? Because it will give you a better perspective of what it is. And then it is happening both ends, or it is just a push or a pull. Because that will define with these 4 questions, you will have a decent understanding of what that integration is. So let's talk about what is our integration with Nowcerts, and this will give you a perspective of, so contact, when we add contact in Nowcerts, it goes to InsuredMine. When we add policies to Nowcerts, it goes to InsuredMine, and vice versa. When we add a contact in InsuredMine, it goes to Nowcerts. So all these 8 core elements that you're looking at: contact, policies, tasks, notes, properties, vehicle, drivers, text messages, all these will go both end. Then we have few things, documents and coverage, which is going from Nowcerts to InsuredMine. I know document might be something we may be able to move it to the left block, but at this point it is just one way. We are bringing all the documents from Nowcerts. I'm not sending it back, but both the teams are working on it. And then there are a few things which just goes from Nowcerts to back to InsuredMine, from InsuredMine to Nowcerts, which is activities. And I may be a bit not 100% sure on the campaigns, but I believe a part of that is going in terms of activities. So I'll take a quick pause here as we get to the first block of slots, and I want to introduce Peter on the call. Peter, are you there?
Hey Raution, yes I am. How you doing?
Thank you for joining. I am doing well, fantastic. How are you?
I'm okay, another day.
All right, thank you. I am sure the audience out here would love to hear from you. What has been your experience with InsuredMine, and what's your opinion about everything we all have accomplished together?
Yeah, thanks Raution. Basically, I will confirm everything that you covered. We wanted to, we have some basic CRM functionality, but obviously in today's world, when a lot of agencies need to use automation to gain an edge in the competition, we made a decision to seek actively partners that understand the insurance industry and can provide sophisticated CRM tools and capabilities. So InsuredMine was one of the first companies that we partnered with, and we have a very fruitful partnership. It's been good for both companies in the sense that during the integration process, we discovered, a lot of topics that, we didn't plan ahead of time, what items need to be integrated, which way the information flows, and kind of like on the slide we're currently, a lot of that was done in a back and forth conversation and relationships to make sure that we have all the data flows properly designed to benefit our clients and InsuredMine's clients to squeeze the most out of both systems. So we're kind of grateful for InsuredMine being very proactive during the integration process, in a way, sometimes, being a pain in the butt, excuse my French, but they have contributed significantly to our understanding of what, what data flows should look like between a proper CRM and an AMS system. So
thank you.
You're welcome.
I think this is still new to a lot of us, to a lot of, the whole industry is new to this whole API integrations. As this has become the new buzz as it is needed. And I think end of the day, it is the guys who are listening to this webinar, the agencies, the agency producers, the agency owners, they are the beneficiaries of this. We all are working to get to that core common minimum program that will allow everybody to align to this how from the start to the end between AMS and CRM, how do you bring that both world, but end of the day, how agencies will win. So no, definitely it's been a very, very fruitful relation, and this is just going to grow from here. I hear a couple of questions. Let me no audio. So let me make sure I can answer some of those questions before we take this further. Peter. So, so Patrick has a question that will there be more integration down the road? Patrick, without any question, without any doubt, yes, this what you see, this is just the starting. There is way more to happen. I wish I can give you that roadmap, but I can tell you the commitment of both organizations is so rock solid on building these platforms way more deeper, way more comprehensive. I cannot say but with all the confidence that this is going to go way deeper.
Yeah, a good example right now is documents. I mean, as you mentioned, it's only flowing from us to you right now, and we are adding an endpoint to the API to enable the documents to be uploaded into Nowcerts from InsuredMine. You know, a lot of that stuff has to deal with being able to get the API expanded to include other areas of integration. So, yeah, we are looking forward to adding other data points to the integration capabilities, so the systems become more and more in sync with each other.
Yep,
so that's always the goal.
Yeah, of course.
Communications, all kinds of communications, transactions activity is not a big area, but again, it's just a matter of adding them to the API, doing all the testing. And you know, it's in certain areas we have to be careful with data privacy and integrity, and so you know, it may take some time, but we're definitely moving in that direction. Yes,
of course. I'm sure this question is for you, Peter, from Mohammed. Are these integrations live or coming up?
Well, I mean, this current one is definitely live. What you see on the screen is working right now. The plans for additional items to be added clearly, you know, is in the works, and we, you know, it's integrations. You know, by the nature of having two parties involved, sometimes take additional level of planning and additional time to bring things to fruition. But you know, what you see in front of you is working. I mean, I'm pretty sure we have a bunch of clients who are already utilizing the integration with great success, and then we will continue to expand the integration elements based on feedback as we do with anything else.
Yeah. Let me take a couple more questions here. So one is from Colton is, can a company like Zapier truly help with more data integration points? Right on question, Colton. Yes, we have already built a lot more sophistication by enhancing the partnership of InsuredMine and Nowcerts, and Shubham will show in a bit how this will get a multiplier factor because of Zapier. So we will show you, you know, there are tons of data points from Nowcerts and tons of data points from InsuredMine. They are sometimes just interacting through Zapier. So there are two sets of, again, I'm going a bit technical. So there are two sets of integration. One is all this, what you're seeing. This is all one-to-one, which is InsuredMine to Nowcerts integration. But there is whole different level of integration as well, which is through Zapier, based on these as well. There we can leverage some other technologies as well in that, and we'll dig into that a little bit more.
Yeah, and just to add to that, if I may, Zapier will also allow you to add other applications to this core integration. For example, you know, Google Drive, or I'm just picking something out of a hat, where you can integrate another e-signature or even payment processors or accounting systems. So that's where Zapier comes in. I don't know if you want to elaborate on Zapier and how it differs from an API integration. I'm sure the bulk of our guests here probably are aware, but API to API is basically the two platforms talking directly to each other, and Zapier provides a platform where if that's not available, Zapier talks to both APIs and becomes like the messenger between the two. And it's meant for non-programmers to quickly be able to connect systems. So.
Yep. So, but yeah, both, I think the short answer is both approaches, whether it's one-on-one directly between Nowcerts and InsuredMine or leveraging Zapier, both approaches we will continue to invest on both, and we'll develop more. Yep.
Correct.
All right. Yes, thank you. So another question was from Jessica was, does this complement other integrations like Agency Revolution and Fuse? I will dig a little bit more, and probably the answer maybe you mean I am not sure all the functionality that Agency Revolution provides of Fuse, but if you are just thinking from a campaign perspective, pretty deep campaign capabilities are available with InsuredMine with no additional cost. So that's one of our core functionality apart from CRM is the marketing capabilities. Another question I'll take here is from Jessica. Does this complement other integrations? Well, it's the same question. I'm sorry. When it comes to a website provider, what provider do you recommend and that would connect to Nowcerts and InsuredMine? I don't think we do not have. We are agnostic, so we do not have a favorite in that space. I don't know, Peter, if you guys recommend anybody. But we are agnostic, so it will connect with whatever website provider you are using. We will give you the iframe codes that you can plug in for the forms that I'm going to talk about in a bit.
Yeah, just to add to that, the provider itself really is not as important. It's usually the platform that it's developed on. I know a lot of consultants offer their own private CMS systems, basically the way to control the building of the website and the content. But it's always easier to stick with something like WordPress because WordPress is widely used. It has a lot of plugins, a lot of additional vendors providing, plugin capabilities, smart forms and so forth. So the provider itself who's hosting it is probably less important as what platform you choose to build the website on. And I would stick with the common ones, again, simply because there's a lot of people that can help you out. They can always retain somebody on, guru.com or one of these, websites to help you build a website and maintain it. I'd stay away from companies that force you into using their backend content management system because then you're tied to somebody that has a lot more control over your website than they should have long term.
Yep, that's a very good point. Thank you. All right, taking this further. So we will talk about these 6 core things, and I will invite Shubham, who is the head of our technology, dialing in, and he will show us the 6 things, and I want to quickly talk about. One is deal card. When we add a deal card, which is basically a new prospect who is looking to buy one of the policies, like home, auto, or commercial, or whatever it can be, how when we add it to InsuredMine, it seamlessly flows all the way to Nowcerts. Second one would be about how when we are now you have added that deal, you will be working on that deal for a week, a month, or several months. So there are a lot of activities happening in that period. How are you making sure those are in sync? And then when you're completing the task, what does that even mean? What are the things that gets triggered? Policy coverage data that now from the other end from Nowcerts comes to InsuredMine. One unique factor that we provide is that retention pipeline. And I want you all to pay a little bit closer attention to that, and especially how it gets created and helps you manage it. And then last one would be on the mobile app. And I got a few bonus items for all of you who are using Nowcerts. So hang in there with us. Shubham, do you want to take over the screen?
Sure. Hi everyone, this is Shubham from Tech Team. All right, so I'm going to show you a couple items here. So I have logged into InsuredMine portal. This is the test account, test Nowcerts, and then I have Zapier open over here. So I will create a deal card over here manually. You can create deal cards in multiple ways. You can create it manually from this screen. You can create the deal cards from Zapier. You can create the deal cards from the forms that we are providing to you. And the deal cards can be created by the forwarding email that we provide. You can send any email to that forwarding email, and that email will create a deal card over here. So in deal card, we have 2 options. You can create a deal for your personal line or commercial line. So let me go ahead and create a deal for a personal line. And the contact is Josh William. So it will search for an existing client. If it will find any Josh in the account, it will show you the suggestion. Otherwise, it will ask you to create a new contact with this name. So I'm creating a new contact. Okay, so this deal will be assigned to this agent. By default, this agent has been logged in, so this deal will be assigned to this agent. The title is coming over here. This is the pipeline, and this is the stage. So I have filled up all the mandatory fields. So this is the automation that will be started when I will create this deal on this deal card. So I don't want any automation to go out. Let's save this. So it has created a deal. Yeah.
1 second, Shivu. I'm getting a couple quick questions here in terms of, what does this software do? Probably, I know I may have rushed into giving that concept of what is InsuredMine all about. As in 3 words, we say it helps you convert, engage, and retain, which means it helps you convert your prospects into clients using a sales tool, a sales funnel management through the pipeline manager, what Shubham is showing. So your sales will see a much better throughput because you are able to manage it much more effectively. You are able to manage it individually. You are able to manage it as a team more collaboratively. So that's one of the biggest strength is the sales management. Second, the biggest strength is your whole marketing, which is doing any kind of campaigns, holiday campaigns, or you are doing any kind of automation, which is remind them your policy is expiring in 30 days, or send them a campaign about, hey, you got auto with us, or you got home with us, time to buy auto and bundle it. Or when they just get on board, tell them about, hey, welcome to my agency, and indoctrinate them with all the philosophies about your agency, so they become a long-term client. So all these things, which is about converting them to a client, nurturing and engaging with them through the period of time, and then using the data analytics that we have to be able to nurture those opportunities into more business and more lifetime value from the current clients. So hopefully that answered your question. So yeah, please, Aaron. Yeah. All right. Will let us know the prospecting email was opened. Yes, of course, it will let you know who opened it. Not only it will tell you who opened it, it will tell you how many times they opened it. So we'll get to that in a bit, but yeah, sorry, Shubham, go ahead, please.
Sure. So I have created a prospect in the steel card, and this is the prospect Jaws William, and this should be created in Nowcerts. So you can see here, this has created a prospect for the personal line here. Prospect has been created, all the deal cards, phone number, whatever I had entered, everything is coming over here. Now let me create a deal card for commercial line. Let's see how it is looking over there. So I'm creating a deal card for Jaws and Company. This is the business name, and the contact name can be Josh Parker. So it is giving me suggestion for the Jaws. I am going to create a new contact name under this business account. All right, so let's. So previously I had created a personal line prospect. Now I have created a commercial line prospect with a business. Let's search over here. Jaws and Company has been created, and this is the commercial prospect, and a contact has been assigned to this prospect, the business. This is the business, and this is the contact over here. Now let me go ahead and do some activities over here. So there are multiple activities, like you can see. Let me expand. You can have any kind of checklist. If you have assignees, overview, policy data. On this side, we have quick actions like notes. Let me create note. In this, we can tag any agent, like this is an agent working in this agency, and I want this agent to please follow up. So I am creating just a note over here. What it will do, it will send an email to this agent informing that I have created a note on this deal card, and this note will be available over here. So this is, So now that notes is coming over here. So it's a real time. Now let me create a task. So this is a kind of task. This is high priority, and maybe some. This has been assigned to another agent, and the due date is of 15th of December. You can add this task to your calendar as well if you want. I'm not adding. And now that task will be available over here. So this is the task. You can mark the task as done from there, and it will be marked as done over here as well. So same way we have multiple activities like SMS, email, and all those will be synced from InsuredMine to Nowcerts and from Nowcerts to InsuredMine. Apart from these activities like notes, emails, scheduler, we have a link. We are providing this feature for free where you can create your own link and share that link with your client. It's similar to Calendly. Then we have this calendar activity. You can create the activity from here, and it will sync with Nowcerts as well and the calendar, your work email. Then task files, you can add files. You can send SMS directly from this platform. We have this intake form as well. This is the form in which you can collect information from your prospect. Like you want to sell auto and home policy to this prospect, you can import this form, and you can save this form with your client. Once that client will fill up this form, you will be getting notified, and all those information will be available over here in this code sheet. Automated drips, like in this pipeline, I have assigned a drip on this stage. So this is the drip. If I will assign this drip, it will start going, and those drips will be coming over here. So analytics will be available here. So what I did, I created a personal line prospect, a commercial line prospect. Those prospects are written to Nowcerts as well, and whatever events I'm taking over here, those events are going to Nowcerts on real time. Over to you, Raution.
Thank you. Thanks, Shubham. So this talks about the power of how we are able to real time push the data from one end to another. So several other aspects before we jump in. Let me take a couple quick questions here. I love the statement from Mohammed. Yes, you are absolutely right. And Mohammed is one of our, I would say a core user, power user. He's been very passionate about how he has been leveraging the system. And so he says InsuredMine is a relationship manager and Nowcerts is a policy manager. I cannot agree more. They both have a very strong role to play, and I don't think one can do better without the other. So, and then there is question from, will the birthdays come over in Nowcerts? Shubham,
Yep.
Can you answer that?
Yep.
That's from Amanda, another client of ours. We love her. I think there are less hours in a day and more questions for her. So I want to visit her personally and sit there for a couple of days and answer all the questions. Yeah, but I love it. She is awesome.
Here in context. So yes, birthdays and all those information are getting synced.
All right, perfect. The other one is, so this is a good one, John, which is, can I, in QQ that does not happen, so this is great. Yeah. All right, now I know. Can we find the website, or will it find the prospect on LinkedIn? Well, not today, but there are a few things we are working on in respect to LinkedIn, and we will announce those fairly quickly. So there are some deeper capabilities in relation to LinkedIn. So Amanda, as you can see, how Shubham is adding the date of birth. So let's go back there.
Oh, so I have added in another contact just.
Don't do that, Shubham. Don't make me look bad. that should be the profile data. All right, we'll dig that for you, Amanda, and get back to you. Awesome. And then I see another couple quick questions coming up. Can you create your own pipelines, and can you create ZAP from these pipelines, such as you could with Pipedrive? Of course.
Yep.
Yes, you can create as many pipelines as you want. And so let's go to that pipeline, Shubham. So what we recommend, you have your sales, you can have your personal line pipeline, you can have your commercial line pipeline, you can have your service pipeline, you can have your retention pipeline, and you can manage all of those in a whole different way. And then go back to the Zapier, and you can create your Zapier for each of them. So a particular lead coming in a particular source can zap in right into this, and it will get you going with zero time loss and zero touch. And I think it is one of the most powerful thing what InsuredMine can do compared to any other alternatives out there. Do you want to dig deeper into this, Shubham, in terms of what are the things?
Yep.
Yeah, please.
So there are multiple ways, like if you are using Nowcerts for the prospecting and you want that prospect to be created in InsuredMine with a deal card, you can do in this way. Or if you want a prospect to be created in InsuredMine and go to Nowcerts, you can do it in that way as well. So in this Zap, I have created a Zap between Nowcerts and InsuredMine. In this, when you are creating a new prospect in Nowcerts, it will create a deal card in InsuredMine. That will be shared deal card. That means it can be assigned to your agents in round robin basis. Like if 3 deals are coming and 3 agents are there, first deal will be assigned to the first agent, second deal to the second agent, third deal to the third agent, fourth deal again to the first agent. So this is the meaning of this shared deal card. Shared board, that means whatever leads are available in this shared board, this will be visible to all. They all can work on this. That means this is not assigned to anybody. So here I have created a Zap between Nowcerts and InsuredMine. So let me test it. So this is the test data we have. We test an action. Lot of fields we are thinking over here. So this is the pipeline. This is the stage. What type of lead you are adding? It is a personal line or commercial line, because for the personal line we are creating different type of account. For the commercial line we are creating different type of account. Then you have the deal title, deal source, the contact name, account name, email, database ID that is coming from Nowcerts. So what this is doing, this is helping us to manage the leads effectively. It will not duplicate that lead in both places. So this is creating a bridge between InsuredMine and Nowcerts. Then the address, data of birth.
And I think that is very important. We cannot hammer that power of that enough to say how important it is, not only this taking this Zap from any of your lead sources, but feeding it all the way back to Nowcerts. It is not just about bringing it to InsuredMine and feeding. So you can imagine the kind of things it is doing in that real time, feeding it to Nowcerts, sending communication to the prospect, informing your agent, creating that whole setup within InsuredMine, all that in that flip of a second. And I think that's real power.
So that deal card is created over here. I've just clicked on test and it has sent that data to InsuredMine, and the deal card has been created for this agent. And this business and this contact is written to Nowcerts as well. There are a lot of testing.
That's okay, Shubham. I know we got a lot to cover, so let's keep cruising here. Anything specific you wanna show in terms of data coming from Nowcerts?
So there are multiple ways. So it will take some time to explain each and every components.
Yeah.
So I have just covered the manual way of creating the leads on InsuredMine, leads and deal, and how data is going to Nowcerts in a different way for personal and commercial line. It's not the same. We are handling it on the account level, and account is playing a very important role here. And there are a couple more ways to create the deals in InsuredMine and then writing back to Nowcerts.
Yeah. So let's quickly focus on engagement module for a moment, and just briefly, I think 3 things I want to mention here. One, list, which is how we segment clients. We are taking all this data from Nowcerts and creating all this data in InsuredMine and parsing that data to help you generate so much of slicing and dicing, so you can be more custom focused on what data is going to which kind of segmented client, whether you're looking at from active prospects, so different list source, you filter it by tag, you filter it by office location, you filter it by line of business, you filter it by carrier, dispositions, age, you just name it. And all these are different ways how you can filter or segment your client to create a subsection of customers for some very specific communication. So this gets you part 1 of communication, which is the audience building. Then once you have the audience built, you want to build the communication, which is your templates, which happens, you can have your tons of templates being created that we will provide a lot of them as well. But then you can create your own through template builder. Again, this is out of the park. Nobody can compare it with what you are able to get out of this. Build your own from scratch, like MailChimp or any of those top leading solution providers. This comes completely free to you. Use a template already provided. Shubham, do you want to pull it from the choose template?
Yep.
I just pull one of those. Yep. And they give you a structure already that you can start using it right from there, make your changes and push it out. You can plug in your YouTube videos, you can plug in all those fancy stuff. This will just work like a charm. I see there are a few questions. I will come back to that in a second. Yes, Carlton, that's a very good question. Are the audience constantly being updated as new prospect insured? Yes, we just released probably a couple of weeks ago what we call our live list. The list, which whenever they are adding more people into that segment, it is getting updated. So you can see here, yes, these are updated lists. So wonderful question. And you guys are pretty informed audience. I'm sure Peter is having tough time trying to manage this. So now this is good. If you all know what you need, it makes our job way more easier, because then we know what we need to provide. Can I hire an InsuredMine to customize Nowcerts InsuredMine Zapier? Chris, this is talk to Momin, talk to Amanda, talk to Artem. All these guys are on the call. What you would love is the support you get from InsuredMine, and it does not cost you a dime. We are here to help you. We are here for you to succeed. If you succeed, we succeed. Our growth depends on yours, so we have to make sure you grow. So sign up and we will get you going. I have a couple more questions to take, and then the last thing I want to talk here is automation. Yeah, in the drip is you have all these stages. Automation is all about setting it, and you got all the campaigns analytics as well, which will show you who opened it, who clicked on it, what the bounce and everything. Yep. I know I needed a 3-hour webinar. I think I'll run out of time. I'll take a question here from Colton. Can InsuredMine be integrated for prospect forms on our website on Nowcerts integration? We use WordPress. It's not the biggest fan of the look and feel of Nowcerts website integration. Yes, yes, you can integrate. Actually, we have a form builder, which is like your email template builder. You can drag and drop and build your forms, and you can plug that form on your website. And anybody filling that form will create a deal card in InsuredMine real time. And as you know, the full story, it goes all the way to Nowcerts. So this is just end to end. And Amanda, you got a question here is, when you get the retention pipeline, will the integration with Nowcerts in the retention pipeline show the renewal premium as well? Not just the current? Or Shubham, where are we with that?
Nowcerts team, they are working on it, and maybe in a couple of weeks we will get that data point. So yeah, that work is already in progress.
So Peter, make a quick note on that one.
I was under the impression it was already done, but we'll make sure it speeds up. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So that would be huge. And Kimberly said, yes, I want that to something like a retention center. Yes, of course. And I want the flexibility in the forms that I create. Yeah, yes, you can do that. Patrick has a question. We just purchased a document software. Too bad. As we always looking for email, deck pages and paper. Google Drive and Outlook will integrate. Can this be integrated through Zapier? Of course. And we will also be, actually, it's in our pipeline. We will also be creating through AWS, we are creating a document storage place. Probably initially we'll give you 5 GB where you can store all your organization level documents. So it will be available to you in a short span. All right. Anything? So just the last thing I want to touch base is the analytics, Shubham. If you want to go back to the dashboard, honestly, in 20 minutes of show and tell, no way I can do justice to what we have to offer through the platform. But this gives you a perspective. This is just a, trailer. The whole movie is behind the scene. So you can see how you can find your customers. Clicking on the pin will tell you how many guys are in that particular pin area. And then looking on the widget on the right, it tells you how many policy, different colors are for different line of business. How many policy in which line of business will expire in which month. Just a wonderful snapshot of the next 12 months. And you can run a campaign for a month. You can run a campaign for a particular segment in that month. You can do all kind of fancy stuff. Then you got your goal management. You got your data analytics on the missing data. You got your distribution of business line of businesses and your top 10 clients, your distribution by what carriers you are writing your business with, daily highlights of activities and tasks, who is sending how many emails, how many phone call has been made, all that comes into your activities. One last thing I'm going to show you here is our categories and carriers. This is something you all struggle, which is when you have 10 different versions of travelers or 5 different versions of progressive, what do we do to make sure those gets cleaned up over the period of time? You can, and the problem is not with Nowcerts or InsuredMine. The problem is the source, which is Ivans or other places where you get the data. And so what we do is we clean it on our end. You can select a couple of those versions of progressive and click merge. It will merge those right here. And so now in future, any of these 2 carriers, you will get any data, it will go into that master data. So it will give you a much cleaner look of all your consolidated different versions of the same carrier. And this is huge because this is going to clean your data way more powerful. Yeah, so Chris, there's a lot deep into reports as well. Again, I personally do not believe in the idea of reports because reports are just rows and columns. I believe in the idea of insight. I believe in the idea of visual. Tell me the story, what that report will tell you. And that's why there is a reason we create a dashboard, and we create almost close to 30 widgets right now. And including our pipeline and analytics widget, we have close to 50. That is going to skyrocket in next 12 months to probably 2x and 3x. Why? Because the data is not important. The story out of the data is important. And we will tell you that story. All right. So Jen has a question. Will merging of the carriers in InsuredMine will also affect on Nowcerts? No, it will not. Let the data be there. Once it comes, it will have a cleaner version over here. We are applying the filter on this end. So let it be coming in from Ivans to Nowcerts, and this is where you will create your analytics.
I just want to add something that you could do the same thing in Nowcerts as well if you want to clean up.
So it will bring out clean data. So that's solve the problem.
We call it parents, children, but it's basically the same thing. We also can merge carriers if they're duplicates. But in terms of different NEIC codes of SAP carriers, we have the parent-child relationship. So you can assign one big progressive, and then anything under progressive can be assigned as a parent. And on many reporting screens and pages, you are able to see just the progressive, the parent. Everything is lumped together under the parent.
All right, so let me cover a couple other things. As we talked about, as you guys have seen, our strength is defined by the journey that you guys live every day. There is 4 parts of the journey. One is lead. When you have a lead in, the process of that lead coming in, how are you capturing the client or the quote request from any source and feed it directly to Nowcerts with zero touch and real time. That's part 1 of the journey. Part 2 of the journey is the sales, all the activities happening, how it is syncing up with Nowcerts, pushing that data to Nowcerts, go to that and bring all that coverage info back to InsuredMine. Third part is that nurture. How are you segmenting your clients? How are you building the drip campaigns, that automation built in using the designer templates? So you're continuing to nurture your prospects, your current clients. And then the last part is cross-sell, upsell, and the renewals. What automations you have built in your pipeline, what automation you have built in your campaign, so you are able to identify those opportunities and close that. And things that you will have to focus on after this webinar, these are these boxes, the next 4 boxes I'm going to show is the key. In the lead-in process, you got your Zapier. We talked about the form. We talked about how the lead will be created by forwarding an email. This is something very new, right? So only few system does that, which is when you forward an email support at youragencyname.insuredmine.com, it will create an automatic card in your pipeline. That saves so much of time or any manual data. In sales, look at the checklist, look at the forms that got created, all the actions that you can take and the analytics around it. In nurture, we talked about how you can have a single contact drip, which means you can be hyper focused on dripping a client. You don't have to build a list first and then drip. You can pick one guy and send him a 5-email sequence. All the automation, all the manual drips, template builders, and analytics. Last one is the renewal pipeline or the automation cross-sell and upsell. All these have different value for agencies at a different pipeline levels. But what is the core out of this is why InsuredMine is so special, why it is so powerful compared to anything out there. I don't think anybody has what we have provided in terms of the website forms, the forward email, the email template builder that you have, how you're building your form builders. In your sales, custom pipelines or your custom stages, checklists, your intake forms or your task messages, the way it is being designed, how robust it is. In your nurture process, you got your template builder and your automation logic design. We are enhancing that design in next 30 to 60 days way deeper. So this will just take you to a whole different level. And then last on the cross-sell, I don't think anybody has what we call as this whole renewal pipeline, how automatically it is generating, as Amanda was asking. It will now even show you what is the next renewal amount. So you know if it has crossed the threshold of 5%, 7%, or 10%, and what different strategies you need to apply. We are showing you what those monolines are, how many monolines are sitting at what level, what you need to capture going forward. So that is one of the core things. Now, here is last thing before we wrap up, as we are hitting to the top of the hour, is 10 pro tips. And this is only for the Nowcerts guy because this integration is so robust. We talked about the automated pipeline card creation using Zap. Second one is about creating renewal cards in different pipelines for personal and commercial lines, and then use that automated drip, because every time that card is creating, it will trigger those automations. Running campaigns and text campaigns for your agency announcements. Anything is happening around your agency, you can create your group and push that communication, or any holiday campaigns. We got some wonderful customer, Reggie, now, who uses Nowcerts. He is in Alabama. That guy said he would not have survived this whole hurricane that happened a month ago if he did not have InsuredMine. It was such a lifesaver for him to be able to engage with their clients because of Nowcerts and InsuredMine integration, because it was able to bring all the data. Scheduler link. A lot of you may be paying for the Calendly premium, $15. Check out the list. Forms for collecting missing information. As we said, create your own custom forms. Getting payments integrated through TransPay. We have built that integration. Just take your payment right through the gate. Automations for birthdays renewal. Set it and forget it. You don't have to think about it again. All the welcome emails for your clients. Thank you handwritten cards that we are using, thanks.io, and it will allow you to get all that communications. Track your monolines and cross-sell. As I said, it will tell you exactly how many policies are there, what you are looking to cross-sell and upsell. So these were my top 10, but let me throw in a bonus one. Clean up your carriers and categories, as Peter said. Do it on Nowcerts or do it in InsuredMine. Both you can now leverage that. All right. As we come to the top of the hour, I know I have crossed a minute. My apologies for that, but I'll open it for another 5 minutes just to take any question. And I know there is a question on pricing. So let me first answer the pricing question, and then I will take any other question you guys have. So how much does InsuredMine cost? So InsuredMine is $35 per user per month, but it starts with the first 6 users is $250 and a setup fee is $500. Because, as I said, we take care after that, as Chris was asking, hey, can you do the setup? We take care of everything. We do live custom training. And, ask these guys, how many trainings does it take? And do we ever say no? No. So all that is included because, we think it is important to get all of these lined up to get the most out of the system. All right, let me take a few questions here. Can either this or Nowcerts integrate data to a proposal like a Word proposal? I don't know as of today, but I think those are things in the pipeline. Any digital signature capabilities? Not today, but again, that is also in our pipeline. Any other question, guys? So yeah, 6 user is $250, and then it's $35 per user per month after 6 users. But because of Nowcerts, guys, this relation is so strong, and we know there are some agencies who are less than 6 users, and we do adjust some pricing just to make sure we are not letting any of the Nowcerts customer be disappointed. So we will accommodate that. Good question, Aaron. Voicemail drop, that is also in the development. It will happen pretty soon. We'll quickly post it. So these are some of the natural things, as you can see how far we have come, and some of the things we will get done in a very, very short time. So before we come to the top of the hour, again, there is not much I can say, with all the praises I have for Peter and his leadership and his team, and Jonathan and Sarah, all of these guys. Peter, any final comment before we wrap up here?
No, thanks, Raution. Again, it's been a very useful relationship, for both teams. And again, the one thing we liked about you guys is that you provide a good enhancement for Nowcerts, for our clients, and our users can use a little bit of the system, or they can use your full capabilities and be very sophisticated. And in either case, they'll get their money's worth. It will enhance their ability to service their clients and their closing ratio, and will make their businesses more profitable. So thanks again for your leadership as well.
Thank you. Thanks, Peter. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for your time. And my apologies for dragging this 5 minutes more than committed time, but I'll send this webinar recording to all of you. If you have any other question, feel free to reach out to us and send us an email. We'll follow up. Thank you, everyone.